Mia, I need another pink drink.
Victoria, we're rolling.
Today, the rising star Elvis Presley. This just in 1951, 13 parents sued on behalf of their 20 children. After making it all the way through the district courts, the Brown case went to the Supreme Court, and it is known as Brown versus Board of Education. Today, 60 years after Plessy versus Ferguson, the Supreme Court ruled in Brown versus Board of Education that separate but equal was unconstitutional under the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. The court cited a series of tests demonstrating that segregation had a negative effect on the mental health of black children. To separate children from others of similar age and qualifications solely because of their race generates a feeling of being inferior as to their status of the community that may affect their hearts and minds in a way unlikely to ever be undone. Plessy was officially overturned as separate accommodations were judged to be inherently unequal. Writing for the anonymous court, Justice Air Warren stated, segregation of children in public schools solely on the basis of race deprives children of the minority groups of equal education opportunities, even though the physical facilities and other tangible factors may be equal. The separate but equal doctrine adopted in Plessy versus Ferguson has no place in the field of public education.
Camera's rolling.
Oh. Well, that was an interesting video. This is Johnny Lovett with Channel Zero News. And today we will be discussing about racial segregation in public education has been illegal for 65 years in the United States. Yet American public schools remain largely separate and unequal, with profound consequences for students, especially students of color. Today's teachers and students should know that the Supreme Court declared racial segregation in schools to be unconstitutional in the landmark 1954 ruling Brown versus the Board of Education. Perhaps less well known is the extent to which American schools are still segregated. Segregation is due to zoning, which distinguishes between high and low poverty, in which low poverty is predominantly black. According to the National Center of Educational Statistics, about 3/4 of both African American student schools where most of their classmates qualify as low income. Inexperienced teachers are brought to lower poverty schools, which decreases a student chance for them to learn at full potential. Less funding is given to school districts that serve predominantly students of color. The New York Times reports that nationally, white school districts are provided $23 billion more than non-white schools. Because of this, non-white schools lack resources. Punishment for black students, even first-time offenders, in school is harsher than any other demographic. Black students make up just about 18% of children in U.S. preschools, but half of those youngsters are suspended. Black boys receive 2/3 of all school suspensions nationwide, all demographics and both genders considered. In Chicago, 75% of all students arrested in public schools are black. We are hoping to honor the Brown versus the Board of Education going forth into the future. Many schools are gathering more statistics in hopes to improve our nation's broken system. Signing off.
Stabbing the zombie in the brain with a sharp object is an effective weapon against them. So ladies, get your heels ready. We'll be back with more information on the zombie outbreak.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the Buffalo County Emergency Management.
Reports of zombie attacking people were coming in from several states across the country.